Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. It is always a pleasure to have one of my longtime colleagues and dear friends on the show. She was on recently with, her, I guess boss, that'd be the right word, Dr. Mark Milliron, the president of National University, and that is Dr. Nancy Rohland Heinrich. She is the chair of the Lead San Diego Visionary Awards, those iconic awards, and the executive vice president of communications and community engagement for National University. Nance, twice in a month, is that about right?
That's so. We had a dry period, but here I am again.
Here you are again. I think that's great. And you're going to chat about Lead San Diego. And joining you is my colleague, the producer of the Spotlight in the Community Show, but she is a participant in the advanced program of Lead San Diego, Erin Tanner.
Hello.
I know. So you ready to share about all your experiences so far?
I am.
Oh, that's great.
I have plenty, too, about this organization. So.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing that. And joined by our Curiosity shipper, Isha Walia. As our listeners know, we don't do internships at Cloudcast Media. We do Curiosity ships. Isha is an incoming junior at Northeastern University in Boston, and she heads out tomorrow at midnight to begin her junior year, and she's just done a great job as a co-host. And this is your last interview.
My last one.
Exactly. So until you ramp this up again, maybe when you come back for a winter break or whatever.
I'd love to.
I think that's terrific. I know you probably have a question for Nancy right out of the gate.
Yeah, what is the mission of Lead San Diego?
Happy to share that the mission of LEAD has been very consistent over the last 40 years in really looking at equipping a network of leaders in our San Diego community to be able to help impact their organizations by better getting to know the community and all the different sectors. So LEAD really helps not only creating, leadership skills, but it's more about gaining knowledge of the impact in the community.
Yeah, that's very well put. And listen, almost anybody, when you look at the list of LEAD graduates, you go down the list, and Jerry Sanders, now the president and CEO of the San Diego Regional Chamber, our former mayor, former police chief, head of United Way, about other Red Cross, 85 other things Jerry has done, is a LEAD graduate. Did you go through LEAD, Nancy?
I did. I am a proud graduate of the 2000 class of LEAD, but I had been working with the organization. I really wanted to go through the program, and I felt very blessed to go through in 2000 through the Impact program. And then I also am a graduate of the Influence program from 2016.
Yeah, what's good about National University, as many of our listeners know, have just been unbelievable community supporters. I'm honored because some of the organizations I work with, Classroom of the Future, have been benefited from Nancy's leadership and those folks that have been involved, and that's great. And, Erin, here you are. I remember you were saying, how do I get into Lead San Diego? And many years ago, we used to be a big sponsor when I was at the Union Tribune and so forth. And still involved to an extent on it. But what's the advanced program about?
Yeah, so that is the all-women's cohort. And so I think that's the last one that you hadn't mentioned yet.
Right, the newest program, and very successful.
Incredibly successful, and so grateful for it. I think I learned about it actually a year ago, or a little over a year ago, through Dr. Jones, who is being recognized at the Visionary Awards this year. And then I kept hearing about it through women in the community, from people in the San Diego Foundation and others. And was like, I need this in my own life. And so I'm very grateful to be a part of it.
And what's the mission of that? What part does it focus on? You said, it's pretty much focusing on women and leadership. Is that correct?
Yeah. So there's a lot of similarities that women feel like in the workplace. And it's for that. So finding our personal strengths, our voice, negotiating skills, discussing personal or like topics like diversity, equity, and inclusion. And really, I mean, we have incredible speakers. It's about 6 months. It runs for 6 months. And
Right. And it's once a month, is that right?
Yep.
And is it all day when you meet them?
Yeah, pretty much. They call it a half day, but we're all together. And then then you're out in the community and you're starting to talk about it. And you'll meet other women, and it just feels like you're part of the club.
Right. And with it, is there a certain topic, like it may be one time you're going to learn about leadership or how to negotiate, and the
Exactly.
next month you're learning about education or whatever?
Exactly. Yeah. So they teed up, it's one topic a month that we really dive very deep into each session.
Which ones have you done so far?
Golly, we've done diversity, equity, inclusion. We did the strength finders through Clifton Strengths, and we all have like a mentor too. That is the most incredible benefit to it, is we get paired with, and they do an incredible job pairing. So yeah.
Who's your mentor?
Amanda Flisher. She's a self-leadership coach, and I just interviewed her on SheEO, the other Cloudcast podcast. Yeah.
Nancy, are you a mentor?
I have mentored in the past. I'm not doing it for this year's class, but I've served as a mentor before, because last year we actually hosted the advanced class at National University. But truly, you've got an amazing group of emerging leaders, and this gives them an opportunity to really refine their skill sets and looking at, what is their career trajectory and how can they refine their skills, be better recognized in their own organization, really understand more about kind of navigating, moving up in leadership. And we're just really proud of how successful that program's been. One of my colleagues, Chris Russo, who serves on the Regional Chamber of Commerce, he's serving as a mentor this year. So some of the mentors are male as well, which I think is really helpful for the women.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, without question. We're chatting with Dr. Nancy Rohland Heinrich. She's the chair of Lead San Diego's annual Visionary Awards, and also an EVP of Communications and Community Engagement for National University, joined by Erin Tanner. She's an advanced program participant on one of the programs of Lead San Diego. I'm Drew Schlosberg, as you're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 17th year. We are broadcast from the beautiful Mission Fed studio in Scripps Ranch, and Mission Fed's been doing great things in San Diego for more than 60 years, and I am joined by co-host Isha Walia, an incoming junior at Northeastern University in Boston. She'll be heading back for her junior year tomorrow, and I know you've got a question for Nancy.
Yeah, tell us about the upcoming Lead Visionary Awards and how people can get involved.
Well, I think this event is kind of the highlight for the leadership community in San Diego. Last year, we had such a successful event. This year, it will be on Thursday, September 14th at the Manchester Grand Hyatt. And last year's event was the first big event post-COVID.
Right.
And the turnout was just amazing. But you get people from all the different organizations, nonprofit, the business community, elected officials. And it's set up in a very unique way, as many of the chamber events are, where networking is super important. People want to build on those connections they've already made, either through the LEAD programs or just in the community. So you have people from all different organizations that literally are networking for about an hour and a half. The reception and the food is before the program. So once you sit down for the awards ceremony, which will be very special, that's just dessert. So, you get to have that time, because at so many events, if you're locked in at a table, you don't have that chance to catch up with everyone. But it's kind of the who's who of San Diego. And what's really something that people cherish is LEAD is more than 40 years old. And you get people that were part of LEAD early classes that participate, a lot of the former honorees. And it's really exciting because you just have generations of the true leadership of many different sectors in the San Diego community.
Right. And tickets are still available. You just go to the LEAD website.
Absolutely. So individual tickets have become very popular. So please go to the LEAD website. We still have room for definitely at least a couple dozen more people, and we are more than happy to add. But We have a lot of organizations who are sponsors and have bought tables, but I think, a lot of the individuals, either former LEAD graduates or people who really want that opportunity to have face time with key community leaders, please feel free to come to the event.
Yeah, it's a great event. I think you brought up something that's interesting. I've been involved with LEAD literally since really dating myself now, 1996. Fell off a little bit in recent years, but now because you're involved, sort of nice to circle back to it. And I'm glad what LEAD has done is what some of the other organizations, Nancy, you and I have gone to 1 million corporate events. And it used to be you'd have a 2-second reception and then you're sitting down and that's it. And they flip-flopped it. Now it's an 1.5 hour reception, so you actually get to talk to people and mosey around and then keep the program short. I think it's just so spot on because that's what people want to do. And some of them is like a little reunion. They haven't seen Joe Blow in 7 months, and it's like old home week. And it just does what LEAD is all about. It's relationships. And it's absolutely putting people together on this. Talk about some of the key awards that are coming up for this shindig on the 14th of September.
All right. Happy to do so. We have some standing categories for awards and just amazing recipients. And the recipients can be either individuals or they can be organizations. So one very important award is the Neil Morgan Memorial Award for Lifetime Achievement. And this year, that will be Alan Zitter, who's the executive director for the NTC Foundation. So it's really wonderful to have someone from the arts community. Secondly,
if I can jump in here,
sure.
That's near and dear to my heart because I got to work with Neil Morgan at the Union Tribune. Neil was longtime editor of the Evening Tribune, and then when we merged in 1992, he became an associate editor for the Union Tribune. Had a great column, and is just unbelievable. And is Judith still alive? Do you know? Is his wife still alive?
I do not know.
I don't know that either because Judith used to come to the event as well. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. Okay, next award.
All right. And thank you for sharing that because Neil Morgan was very important to the community.
Yes,
and to have an award named after you by LEAD is really significant because when you're looking at lifetime achievement, these are people who have contributed decades and decades to shaping and bettering our community. The next one is kind of an interesting choice this year, Innovation and Economic Opportunity Award. This is really important because remember the Chamber is trying to drive business to the San Diego community. And we were very excited to select the San Diego Wave this year. And the Wave football team, or many of us would say soccer team.
That's right.
They have just been amazing as far as the level of involvement in the community with the military, with K-12, with Sports San Diego, Sports Commission. But Wave plays at Snapdragon, and their very first game last year I went to, and they broke a record for the largest number of people who had ever gone to a women's soccer game in the United States. And they were, I think it was around, 31,000 people.
Right.
But that was pretty amazing. And their leadership and their players are out there and active in the community. And it's important that LEAD recognize those different types of organizations of that sort.
We'll come back from break. We want to talk about the other awards. I know there's the Ron Kendrick Memorial Award. We'll announce who that one is, and Chuck Nathanson Memorial Award. And I know Isha wants to ask some questions more about some of those programs that are going on at LEAD San Diego. And Nancy, as you know, you've been on the show before. We always save some time for us to ask what our listeners can do to help support your efforts when we return with Dr. Nancy Rohland Heinrich, who's the chair of LEAD San Diego's annual Visionary Awards. They'll be on September the 14th. She's also the EVP of Communications and Community Engagement for National University. Joined by Erin Tanner, an advanced program participant of LEAD San Diego. We're going to hear more from Erin and of how she recommends other people that can go to this advanced program. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 17th year, broadcast in the great Mission Fed studios here in Scripps Ranch. Mission Fed continuing to uplift San Diegans for more than 60 years. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, You get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg, Cloudcast Media. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 17th year, broadcast at the Mission Fed Studios in Scripps Ranch, Mission Fed Credit Union, uplifting our region for more than 60 years, joined by Dr. Nancy Rohland Heinrich, the chair of Lead San Diego's annual Visionary Awards, set for September the 14th. She's an EVP in Communications and Community Engagement for National University, joined by Erin Tanner, a participant in Lead San Diego's Advance Up program. And I am joined by my co-host, Isha Walia, an incoming junior in Northeastern University in Boston. She's doing a curiosity ship here with us here at Cloudcast. I know she has a couple other questions, but Nancy, you were going to finish up some of the major awards, the Ron Kendrick Memorial Award for Leadership and Collaboration and the Chuck Nathanson Award.
All right. And Ron Kendrick, again, another amazing San Diegan. He just contributed so much to the San Diego community and was so active in the banking industry. So there's a Ron Kendrick Memorial Award for Leadership Collaboration, and I'm just thrilled that the recipient this year will be the USS Midway Museum. And the Midway will be celebrating its 20th anniversary next year, but there's been just an amazing number of people that have contributed to that, but I would like to call out Mac McLaughlin. He recently retired. The new CEO of the Midway is Terry Kraft, who's another retired admiral, as Mac was. But the Midway Museum has been so successful, bringing more than 60,000 students a year on the ship. We've they collaborate with Classroom of the Future Foundation, all the different school districts, not only in San Diego, they're now broadcasting throughout the United States, and they have a teacher institute and just very successful museum, one of the most successful museums in the United States.
Without question. And then Chuck Nathanson, I'm not sure if you knew this, Nancy, we worked very closely with Chuck when he did San Diego Dialogue. And I know Lead recognizes his work with the cross-border, region building.
And super important, San Diego, binational community. We're very friendly and a lot of commerce exchange with the border. So we always recognize someone in this category. And this year it's Dr. Holmes from Rady's Children's Hospital. Nice. And he's been very active. The medical community has been very active with our neighbors to the south. And we're really thrilled to be recognizing him this year.
Yeah, do they work with a Hospital Infantil, which is the children's hospital south of the border? Yeah, and we've had relationships with them in the past, at least through the UT in this aspect. Isha, I know you got some other questions for Nancy.
Yeah, tell us about Impact, Advance, and Influence, the three primary programs offered by Lead.
Okay, well, I think Erin did a great job sharing about Advance, which is to really elevate women in the community and provide strong mentors. The Impact program, that is the foundation of Lead San Diego. That program was started back in 1981 with the first graduating class in 83. And the Impact program for 10 months There's usually about 50 people selected from different sectors in the community. Each company will send one person, and they have a theme each day. And it can be education, it could be innovation. Always spend one day on military and defense. Usually a lot of on transportation, public safety. There's usually one bi-national day. Sometimes the students usually get to go down to Tijuana and meet with different elected officials and businesses and in the community to better understand that bi-national. But it really helps people understand what's important in the San Diego community, how it contributes economically, how it contributes to the fabric of the community. And then each lead class and impact also is a project where they partner with a nonprofit organization in the community and help that nonprofit. And that's been very beneficial. And the influence program, that is probably about 6-7 years old. And that is definitely designed to be for C-level leaders in the community. So imagine someone recently promoted to a CEO or a COO or CFO position, or someone who's recently moved to the San Diego community, and they are immersed for 3 days with all of the leaders, and they cover all the topics that impact us, but they do so in a 3-day period. So I'm proud to say that before our new president started, I said, you will be attending the influence program through LEAD. And he thought that was the most well worth, the time of that 3 days, because you make the connections and you have that opportunity to really understand the economic and the entire landscape of the San Diego community.
And what's, you know this, Nancy, you've been a community leader for many years in different aspects at National University. But it's the relationships that are so important. It's been long said that San Diego is probably the solar system's smallest big city, without question. People know each other. And when you make that connection like Mark did, Milliron, the president of National University at the sea level, you're going to run into that person maybe in a week, in 2 weeks. You'll see him at a Padre game. You'll see him at a LEAD event, a chamber event, an EDC event. I remember you. I met you over that. And for someone that's new, that comes into San Diego, that's so important.
Oh, it's fabulous. So last night I was at the USS Midway's the Patriot Gala, and definitely President Milliron ran into a lot of people that were either speakers during his 3-day influence program, right, or classmates. And they, the classes have reunions, but I would say it's a really strong, fraternal organization. And with thousands of LEAD graduates in the San Diego, it's just one of those things that if someone says, oh, I participated in LEAD, it will open doors. It will, allow for people to collaborate with you and make recommendations and introduce you to other people. What's really unique about San Diego, most of us were not born here. And we were welcomed into the community, and it is a community where you don't have to be a fifth-generation San Diegan. Right. You could have just moved here from the Midwest or, the Northeast, another part of the country, and this program gives you an opportunity to connect with people that have been influential in the community for years.
Yeah, exactly. And, Erin, I know that's something you've done a great job since you've been involved with us at Spotlight and Cloudcast Media. How many new people have you met in advance?
Well, it's interesting because, too, what your points, Nancy, aside from this show, which does every Friday and meeting right, just the core folks of San Diego, that is similarly that what I've experienced with LEAD is right, that you're seeing not the same people over and over again, but it's like the family, and you're one of them, and now, I was in this one, I was in that one, and then it just becomes this most beautiful blossoming of relationship. Right.
And, listen, and I think there's something to be said about, this is a women's leadership, having the sisters, so to speak, of having that connection that is important. It's different than men, and I don't mean it in a bad sense or a gender sense. It's a different way of connecting and all that aspect of it. And I think, listen, leadership is important from anyone. You've heard this on my show many, many times. Leaders come from everywhere, and they come from every facet of the organization. Leadership ideas come from folks that are working in facilities. They come from folks at the CFO level and everything in between. And if you don't think that happens, then you should not be running an organization from that aspect of it. What advice would you give, Erin, if someone comes to you and say, hey, I see you just graduated from the advanced program. Should I do this? Why should they do it?
So I could go back for the stars. I just had this conversation actually with a woman. I'm already doing it. So I'm not even finished with it. I'm already doing it. And it's that similarities that I spoke to, the things that you think you're the only one, and then you go into this space and it's like, oh, okay. So and for people or women that have had careers, far many more years than I have, and still are going, I still struggle to find my voice, or like unsure in the confidence area and stuff. So it's a wonderful.
Well, and it hits the premise, Nancy, that you know also well, because obviously you're a role model for this, and you're 37 different jobs at National University. I'm teasing, but I'm not teasing too far off, am I?
More than 20.
More than 20. Okay, so I was off, but not by much. The beauty of Lead San Diego in those types of programs, it's continuous improvement. And those who are very successful leaders and to whatever level they're at always want to continuously improve. And if you think you know everything and you're all done, then you should probably retire in that aspect of it. In this, before Isha gets to her last question here, what if people want to sign up? September 14 is the Visionary Awards. There's still some seats available, correct? They just go to the LEAD website?
Just go to the LEAD website, or you can go to the San Diego Regional Chamber website at sdchamber.org, and there's a link to the events, and there's tickets available. Tickets are only $200, which is very reasonable to have an opportunity to meet 600-700 of San Diego's leaders.
Absolutely. Isha?
Yeah, what can our Spotlight on the Community show listeners do to support you?
First of all, thank you so much for having us on the show. Drew, I know you've been a long-term supporter of LEAD, and I think just getting the message out there, especially for people who may not be familiar with the organization, it's a very gratifying and satisfying experience, and that network of connections, it is a community where relationships are important, and people need to cultivate relationships. Challenging now that we've shifted much to a remote work environment. So those types of organizations and connections with other leaders make it even more critical. And I could just say that, they didn't have an advanced program when I was first involved with LEAD, but that was probably much more so than anything professionally development that I could do within my field. It was much more helpful, because it connects you to the community and you develop bonds that last for decades to come. And it just, as I mentioned, it is kind of that fraternal organization where if you're a LEAD graduate, it's kind of expected that you will acknowledge and support someone who reaches out to you, asks for assistance. And so by looking at Spotlight on the Community, I think San Diego should be so proud of LEAD San Diego and the generations of amazing leaders that have been a part of the organization. And thank you for including us on your show.
Yeah, absolutely. Spot on this. And somewhere down the road, because, they're still winners. Maybe we'll have some of the folks that have been recognized on the 14th come back on, talk about their experiences as well. Nancy, it's always good to see you. Thanks for all the great work you've been doing for many years in this community. Thank you for chairing this very important event. I know it'll be successful. And Erin, thanks for sharing your 2 cents. You've got the cred because you're actually in the middle of the class over here. So we'll probably talk with you more about that once the class is over. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight in the Community Show, the nation's longest running community podcast on our 17th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, raising the bar for so many San Diegans for more than 60 years. We hope you enjoyed the program.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.